Hey everybody, what's up? Colby Cheese here, and today I want to talk to you about how to increase your productivity and get more things done, eliminate some procrastination, all while doing this in less time. So there is something that I've heard in the past, and I always kind of laugh at it because it is mostly true, and it's if you want something done, give that task to a busy person because they're the ones who are going to get things done. And so this talk that I'm going to give you today is about reducing your amount of time that you give yourself to do tasks and to limit yourself on the actual scope of what you're allowed to do. The more constraints that you give yourself and the less time that you have to do those things, the more likely it is that you're going to, one, get it done, and two, your mind is going to find a way to be very productive in order to get that done within the time that you're giving yourself. So think about this for a second. I know that was kind of like a big vomit of words. So think about like back in maybe in college or in high school, whenever you had some big project due, more likely you are the type of person, if you're like anything like me, where you just kind of wait until the very last minute, like, oh my god, I have to get this done. You know, like I'll do it tomorrow, but at the very last second, you're like, okay, I'm gonna stay up all night, I'm gonna get this thing done. And you end up, you know, either cram for a test or write some paper or something like that. The idea is that, you know, we tend to procrastinate until the very last minute, and eventually we figure out a way to get it done. So you can kind of eliminate this like last minute stress by just going ahead and giving yourself these artificial constraints in a sense. So for example, if you have all these different things to do and you know, maybe it's you don't even have a due date on it. Maybe you're just like working on a project and you're really not making a lot of progress on it because what happens is you're probably procrastinating on it, or you're focusing on things that are not extremely important. When you don't have a lot of time to do something, you're gonna definitely focus on the most important part of that task in order to get it done. So for example, with a personal project of mine here, it's I've been kind of consciously keeping track of this. So there's all of these things that I want to do, and you know, maybe I want to spend 30 minutes like adjusting the color on a button and moving it left and right or something like that. But I give myself these constraints like, okay, I've only got 2 hours to work on this, and I have to get like this specific amount of tasks done, and I'm not allowed to do anything other than these specific tasks. So if I come up with these other days like, oh, I want to play with this button, you know, or I want to check out this feature that might be cool, I'll write that down in like eventually type of column, and that helps me get it out of my head. You know, it's something that I'm thinking about, so I can't just remove that. My brain doesn't work that way. So I'll write it down so that I'm like, okay, it'll get to eventually, that's the idea. But I'm continually focusing on the most important stuff because I don't have a lot of time to mess with all these other things. And so you can apply this to pretty much any project that you have, whether it's, even if it's like writing a blog post, if you're trying to do some blog post, give yourself, you know, like man, writing this blog post takes like 5 hours to write these great articles. Well, I don't know, give yourself 2 hours to write it and make it like it has to be done in that time, or you're not allowed to work on it anymore. So these are the sorts of things that can increase your creativity as well. A lot of times I've heard of people going to these hackathons and making some amazing product in like 48 hours, you know, or especially with game developers, some of the coolest games ever have been developed in these little, you know, 1 day or 1 week, you know, like hackathon type things where there's not a lot of time to flesh out all these crazy, you know, various things that you have to do. And it's just like you just focus on the most important stuff, which is making a fun game, for example. So if you can apply the law of like constraints to your own projects and also limit the amount of time that you have to do them, chances are you're going to be very successful, and you can get a lot of big wins by getting out of the way all of these big, most important tasks. And it kind of also comes back to that whole, if you're a fan of like Tim Ferriss, you know, the whole 80-20 rule. Focus on the 20% of tasks that are going to give you the 80% of all of the results. And if you're like me and you have all these things that you want to do and you really don't have a lot of time to do everything, that's honestly the only way you're going to make like decent progress. And so this is the stuff that I think about every day. I'm not perfect. I'm definitely always improving on it. And hopefully this will give you guys something to think about as well and apply it to your life. So let me know in the comments below if this is something that you work on, and I'll see you around for the next one. Peace out, bros.